It's Tuesday, March 14th, and welcome to your 11 a.m. HAN Network Stormcast. I'm Kate Chaplinsky with Frank Granito. You're getting a look through the trees right there at Route 8 in Shelton outside our studio. Now, one thing to happen since our last Stormcast is that a blizzard watch has been canceled for southern Connecticut, but a winter storm warning remains in effect, and it's still windy and dangerous out there for any travel, as we're seeing in video shared from our reporters and editors. So far today, state police say between 5 a.m. and 10 a.m. troopers have responded to 14 no-injury crashes, 34 motorist assists, and 342 calls for service. Now, we're happy to have on the line to tell us more about this storm, Jacob Mizell of SWCTweather.com. Jacob, so happy to have you back on our Stormcast.
Thank you for having me again.
Now, Jacob, we heard a rumor that you're not suffering with the rest of us through this storm. You are on spring break right now, but you're keeping a close eye on things, right?
Yeah, absolutely. The storm, for a number of reasons, was rather well predicted very far in advance. It was clear among all guys 4 to 5 days that a rather significant nor'easter was going to impact the region late Monday night into Tuesday. My original flight down for spring break in Miami was on Tuesday. I was luckily able to move it rather early to get out. So I'm tracking the storm from afar this time, but still able to, between webcam footage, live radar, and all the model output, it's almost like I'm there.
And Jacob, you mentioned how the storm very well predicted early on, but a little less severe than we predicted. We're seeing a lot more sleet and rain now getting mixed in. Can you talk to more about that development within the storm here?
Absolutely. This was within the last 36 hours. It was clear that this would be the main risk to the forecast. Because a slight jog west of only 50 miles of the storm center would allow for a much stronger warm nose a few thousand feet up in the atmosphere, which would melt some of the snow falling down. And that's exactly what we're seeing. Within just the past 12 hours, model guidance really picked up on this small westward shift that is having major influences on the forecast from New York City up to the Connecticut coast, all the way up to Interstate 84. I think we're going to see a period of rather sustained sleet and freezing rain as opposed to just snow. The result of that is significantly lower snowfall accumulations, as instead of seeing snowfall rates of up to 2 to 4 inches per hour in this critical time frame from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. when the heaviest snow is predicted, we're seeing the sleet and freezing rain mix in, and the result is we're likely only going to see between 6 to 12 inches of snow at the coast, and inland maybe gets up to 14 inches, but even that is looking a bit less likely now with the sleet and freezing rain mixing in. Somewhere in the 10-inch range is more likely. We might end as a burst of snow inland as cold air comes in on the backside of the storm sometime between 2 and 5 p.m., but there's much more warm air now than most models are predicting, so it'll be hard to kick it out as the storm moves on out.
Now, Jacob, you know there is a travel ban in effect for Connecticut. Do you see road conditions not being so great, even though we're seeing kind of a shift away from as much snow as we thought we'd get?
So the good news with such a development that we're seeing is that not only is the warm zone working in a lot, it's also working in a surface temperatures are generally 2 to 3 degrees warmer than expected. While in some cases I won't say too much of a difference, here it is the difference in a lot of coastal locations, especially between freezing and not freezing. So the result is that road conditions, even with some of the sleet and rain, probably not going to be quite as bad as predicted because we're missing both the really heavy rain, the heavy freezing rain with the temperatures above freezing, and the snowfall rates that can be most dangerous on the roadways. That being said, one thing I'm watching closely is that on the backside of the storm, as the storm moves out, between about 5 p.m. and 9 p.m., a lot of cold air at the surface is going to rush back in as the storm as it wraps around this nor'easter. Well, that moves in with a lot of kind of slushy snow remaining on roadways, remaining on a lot of paved surfaces. You could see what's called a flash freeze, where the surfaces freeze rather quickly with the cold air that's rushing in, and you get very icy conditions overnight into the morning, especially on untreated roads. I could see icy patches, black ice, significant icing issues into the morning tomorrow, even with precipitation looking to end around 5 or 6 p.m.
And I'm glad you mentioned that, Jacob, because my next question was, with high winds obviously going to be a big issue all day, and then you've got the cold temperatures coming overnight, how do you see travel tomorrow morning being affected by what will most likely be a freezing warning? this evening in Connecticut?
Yeah, I mean, I see travel certainly slow for a period of time. Temperatures through the day are likely to only get into the low 30s. So if it remains cloudy enough, the forecast right now is for partly to mostly cloudy skies. If the clouds hang on more than expected early, we could see ice lingering through most of the morning commute, 7, 8, 9 a.m. If we clear up, once we clear up, the Mark sun angle will do a lot to quickly melt any ice on roadways. But you can definitely expect icy conditions through the morning. I'll be tracking the possibility of school delays rather widespread across the region as well, on the hope that things do start melting by 8 a.m., but around 6 or 7 a.m. it could definitely be very icy and something that people should probably prepare for, even though precipitation is ending this evening, which can be a bit deceiving.
All right, so Jacob, you're thinking maybe some delays, not necessarily closings tomorrow for a lot of area schools?
It's always hard to know in cases like this because so much of the decision comes down not to the actual weather forecast itself, but to the road crews, how able they are to clear the roads, how much advance notice they've been given, things like that. With a storm like this, there was significant advance notice. I'm sure the towns have many crews on overtime ready to go because there was expected to be such significant accumulation of snow. So with properly treated roads, I could easily see how school districts are able to open tomorrow because it's no longer dealing with a volume of snow issue. It's much more dealing with a lingering ice issue. And a lot of times these do result in delays. Some districts might need to delay up to 3 hours due to those modified delays that we've been seeing the last couple of years. And it wouldn't surprise me if some of the icing issues, especially further inland, were bad enough that schools couldn't open. We are seeing rather significant sleet accumulation still with the peak of the storm over the next few hours. But I think, especially by the coast, it will be more. Delays are looking more likely than snow days, as those accumulations aren't quite as impressive.
Now, Jacob, as you mentioned, there was a lot of advance warning and it allowed people to really kind of brace for this and get ready for it. What can we attribute that to? I mean, the last storm we had last time we talked to you, it was kind of a surprise that came on quickly. But this one, we knew it was coming.
Yeah, it's always kind of hard to know exactly why our weather models are picking up on some storms and not picking up on others. One of the things that I was cautioning throughout the storm is just because every model is showing it doesn't mean that's going to be the final solution that verifies. Amazingly, models that had not been performing the best through the winter were actually the ones that picked up best on this kind of westward shift that turned a lot of the region to sleet and rain. While at the same time, broad signal 5 days out was extremely strong just because all of our global models were handling a pattern that was rather stable in that we've been seeing these shifts in those forecasts for about a week or two now with a cold shot mid-March. That much has been apparent by basically the beginning of the month. And because models were able to get the broad stream pattern correct, this is just kind of my theory, is that they were able to fine-tune and really kind of home in on some of the other pattern features, especially because this is such a large, significant storm. It would be difficult for models to miss it completely. There was so much energy both across the Midwest and across the Southeast that it would be almost impossible for those two features to not interact together. And it was just a matter of how exactly they would interact, which would determine the exact storm track and impact to the region. But because there was such a large amount of energy and the broad pattern had already been properly identified by the model, I think that it really helped us kind of give the advanced warning of even 7 days ago, there was an amazingly strong signal on the models that there would be some nor'easter hitting the Northeast today.
Wow. So, Jacob, any chance there could be more snow on the way this March, or do you think we're finally in the clear after this one?
It's always hard to say. It looks like at the end of February we might be in the clear for the rest of winter, and then by early March there were signs that mid-March could get exciting again. There are a couple small threats that I'm listing right now. A couple models have briefly shown that weekend there could be a light snow event. It's always hard in March to rule things out because all you need is things to come together, just enough cold air. I'm still watching the chance to Saturday see some light snow, maybe turning the rain. Not a ton of cold air, but a weak Alberta Clipper system moving through can always drop a bit of snow. After that, I'm not overly optimistic. The pattern does not look as cold as the one that we have in the next few days. And so it will be harder to get these large storms, but definitely a couple chances to still have small snow events as we move forward to the next week or two.
Well, Jacob, always great to talk to you. SWCTweather.com, great information there. Jacob, enjoy your spring break in Miami. Please, go have fun.
Yeah. After today, it's back going out. But I want to make sure that we get through this storm all right.
All right. Thank you so much, Jacob. Jacob Mizell of SWCTweather.com. Now, before we step out for a break, come back with more coverage of this storm. Frank, what are some snow totals that we're seeing now around the state?
Well, these totals are as of 10 a.m. this morning. We saw Wilton with just over 9 inches, Danbury and New Fairfield not far behind, 7.5, Newtown 7 as well. So some of those inland counties and towns like Jacob was talking about getting more snow right now. Colebrook with 6, Farmington 5, and then Bridgeport right around 4.5 inches along with West Hartford. And you see Ellington, South Windsor, Woodstock, and Vernon just over and under 3 inches, a little north. And a lot of fun talking with Jacob. Does an absolutely great job. I really hope this is the last time we have to use him for snow. We can bring him back for some heat lightning or thunderstorms soon. But no, and it's interesting too, the way the warm weather and the warm air now pushing up has sort of deflected a little bit of the snowfall we thought we were going to get, especially at this time of the day.
All right. Well, Frank, thank you so much. We are going to step out for a break, and when we come back, we have a lot more storm coverage coming up, including video from our reporters and editors around the region. Later on, we're also going to be talking with Weston Forum editor Patty Gay about some great snow day recipes. So that and much more coming up on your HAN Network Stormcast after this.
We told Dad he could have his office back if he sold 150 cars last month.
Deal's a deal.
Well, Dad, you did it. You get your office back.
Forget it. I'm having too much fun down here. My new goal, 160 cars.
Wow.
Folks, if you ever wanted a great price on a new Nissan, now is the time.
Right now, lease a 2017 Altima 2.5S for only $99 a month.
Isn't it time you got Millerized?
UK Gourmet is the largest specialty grocer in the area, featuring food from England, Ireland, Scotland, and Wales. Make your St. Patrick's Day truly authentic with a wee bit of real Irish food, proper Irish-style rashers, sausage, and soda bread right from Ireland. Put down the corned beef and grab a boiling bacon to have what they really eat in the Emerald Isle. So say hooray for UK Gourmet, 78 Stony Hill Road in Bethel, or visit ukgourmet.us.
When it comes to your outdoor spaces, just imagine the possibilities. Whether your dream is a stunning freeform pool or a tranquil, secluded garden, the professionals at Stonebridge Associates will make it a reality. We offer unparalleled landscape design and construction, masonry development, pools, spas, and water features, even landscape maintenance. No other firm can offer the same level of creativity, quality, and personal attention. Discover the possibilities at stonebridgeassociates.net or call 203-544-8376 today.
At the Milford Bank, we offer an extensive selection of lending products and services to meet virtually any need. Submit your application online in our Mortgage Web Center. Start to finish, you can apply for a loan in as little as 10 minutes. Our knowledgeable and helpful staff are available to meet with you at your convenience. To learn more about what we can do for you, stop by one of our Milford Bank offices or visit us at milfordbank.com. The Milford Bank, always there. Member FDIC, Equal Housing Lender. If you're watching this broadcast, you're not alone. The HAN network is available for 200,000 Connecticut cable customers on the Frontier Network, and we've also reached more than 2 million viewers on our free live streaming sports, news, and entertainment broadcasts. To reach our rapidly growing audience, contact Advertising Director Jessica Murrin at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to your HAN Network Stormcast. That's a look outside our studio window at Route 8 in Shelton. Still very snow-covered. The wind is whipping around, though the storm has changed a bit, as we just heard from Jacob Mizell of swctweather.com. We're also getting more video from our reporters and editors who are out around southwestern Connecticut. We are seeing plows out there at work, as you can see here in Darien at McKinley and Rowayton Avenue there. Getting work done, clearing the roads, but that travel ban remains in effect, and officials are really asking people to just stay home for now. It'll make clearing those roads a lot easier. Jill Dion was also in downtown Milford, where not much was happening. It seems like with all this preparation, people were really ready for it. Let's check it out.
It's a pretty wet snow down here this morning. A police car just drove by, and that's pretty much the only traffic I've seen so far.
So again, not a lot of activity there, but let's throw it back over to Frank for just a quick look at how this storm's changed. Frank.
And as Jacob mentioned, Kate, we're seeing some warm air make its way into the flow now. So less snow, more sleet and rain, almost a hail at times. Our director today, Marty Hurston, was outside having to move the HAN rig around and just came in looking like he'd been pelted with a couple ice balls out there. It's going to continue on this path, getting warmer through the afternoon. Right around 5 o'clock, when the cold air moves in, there is a chance for a couple more flurries heading overnight. Winds are going to be very extreme all day and all night, upwards of 50 miles per hour. So there could be a freezing warning in effect later on today. And as you mentioned before, the blizzard warning has been downgraded to a winter storm warning in southern Fairfield County. It is still a blizzard warning, though, in New Haven County and some of the northern parts of the state, Kate.
All right, thanks, Frank. Well, Governor Daniel Malloy gave another update this morning around 9 a.m. with some of the latest storm information. Now, thankfully, we're seeing a very low accident rate. Between 5 a.m. and 10 a.m., state troopers only responded to 14 crashes with no injuries, no fatalities. So good news there. And Governor Malloy is attributing that to people listening and staying off the road. He said state police and National Guard units are out around state highways to help people if they get stuck. Now, that travel ban remains in effect. That went into effect at 5 a.m., and you could be fined $92 if you don't heed that warning. Unless you're someone like a hospital employee or someone that has to get into work, you really should be staying off the roads. Now, utility companies are prepared to respond. We haven't seen widespread power outages yet, hoping that doesn't change. But of course, if you lose power or heat, the governor says make sure there is ample ventilation if you're using another form of heating for your home in case you lose power. And he also reminds people no grills indoors. That's sometimes something that people want to use to heat the home. Not a good idea. It could be very dangerous. Severe weather protocol will be in place. There are 11 shelters currently operational in Connecticut right now. And if you need a place to shelter or know someone who does, you can call 211 for more information. Now, because of the wind direction, according to Governor Malloy, we're only expecting minor flooding at high tide time on the coast, maybe only 5.5 feet high, which isn't that high for this kind of storm. And Governor Malloy saying that they're proud of the storm preparation systems they've put in place. He says we are better trained than ever, and part of that is people responding to their warnings. He said he doesn't close roads very often. In fact, 2013, the big storm we had then, was the last time. And just a little update, Bradley International Airport, most flights have been canceled there, though crews are working to keep runways cleared and open as best as they can. Now, we are going to step out for a break, and when we come back, our own Patty Gay joins us to give us some ideas about great snow day recipes. Coming up on your Stormcast after this.
On time, done right, safe and reliable. MrHandymanCT.com.
Let our satisfied customers tell it.
I have called Mr. Handyman for every reason, every occasion, every broken item, every leak. They have bailed me out on many occasions, and I would recommend them to anyone.
For any project, large or small.
MrHandymanCT.com.
Want a new experience in car buying? Skep Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram with one of the largest inventories of new 2- and 4-door Wranglers. We are Connecticut's Wrangler headquarters. Come visit our new Ram Truck Center. Browse our websites, skepchryslerjeep.com or skepdodge.net to find the new Jeep, Chrysler Dodge car, minivan, or Ram truck you've been looking for. Just 2 miles from both I-95 or the Merritt Parkway exit 44. Save thousands right now during the spring clearance event and Ram Truck Month, now through March 31st.
Have a sports injury or slip and fall that needs immediate care? Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care gives you direct access to an orthopedic specialist fast, without an appointment. Basketball, hockey, skiing, whatever the sports injury is, sprain or fracture, Coastal Ortho Express can help. Coastal Ortho Express Urgent Care, open Monday through Saturday, now in 2 locations. The iPark Building at 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk and 36 Old Kings Highway South in Darien. Or go to coastalorthoexpress.com, like them on Facebook.
Well, there's still a bite out on the water. Most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
At InSports Trumbull, the game is always on inside. Recently renovated and home to one of Connecticut's largest indoor turf fields, InSports is a multi-sport recreation center providing state-of-the-art facilities for league play, camps, and youth programs. Sign your child up now for InSports Future Stars Basketball Academy, teaching skills on the basketball court for boys and girls ages 5 through 9. Visit InSportsCenters.com for more information on this 7-week program. And for adults, spots are also still available for our men's 30 and over and 40 and over leagues. Like and follow us on Facebook.
Wild Birds Unlimited.
At Wild Birds Unlimited of Brookfield, get expert advice from our certified bird feeding specialists. We offer always fresh, clean seed that will be sure to attract birds to your home feeder. Experience our excellent customer service. Open 7 days a week. Visit us at 317 Federal Road, Brookfield.
Wild Birds Unlimited. We bring people and nature together. Wow.
Welcome back to your HAN Network Stormcast on this Tuesday, bringing you the latest local news and, of course, some fun. Because, listen, we've been talking about the snow and the storm's impact all day, and we're happy now to have HAN's own Patricia Gay, who is editor of the Weston Forum, and also our resident foodie. Patty, so happy to have you on.
Well, good morning, Kate and Frank. How are you?
We're pretty good. How are you doing?
Good. I think you're the only 2 people that aren't in your home today.
I think so, yes. But we know you're at home today, and you're cooking up a few good things.
Well, yes. Well, when we get this weather, this cold weather, and I'm watching my husband right now, he's out snow blowing. He's got the snowblower out. Even though it's snowing, he's out there snow blowing. I know he's going to want to come back in home in a little while and maybe settle down and have something hot out of the oven. Would be a nice treat for him. So I've decided to do some baking today because we haven't lost our power. In fact, a lot of people so far are lucky. We haven't lost our power.
Yes, we've been very lucky so far.
So today is comfort food day all the way. A pot of chili, some homemade beef stew, maybe some chicken noodle soup. And I put online on the westonforum.com some fun recipes that you can bake as well. So you can make something nice and hot and heat up your home. And also, if you have kids around and they're getting bored, something to do with them. So I put on a few of my favorite little recipes online, which is, let's see what we have here. Oh, yes, my chocolate chip cookies, and they're different. They have a secret ingredient in them.
Tell us about that.
Well,
it's a secret ingredient.
I did this by mistake. One time I was making just regular chocolate chip cookies, and I didn't have any brown sugar in the house, which it calls for. But I had white sugar and I had molasses. And I remembered that brown sugar really is just technically white sugar and molasses. So I said, you know what, let me just make up some of my own brown sugar using white sugar and molasses and use that instead. And it turned out I used more than probably it would have called for normally in brown sugar. or the molasses, and it turned out they make a crisper, more delicious, almost a tiny bit of a butterscotchy flavor to the cookies.
Yes, I've tried those cookies, Patty. They're great. I can vouch for those
people
cookies.
Love them. so that's a tip that I wanted to share and let people know about. One of the recipes is for biscotti, orange hazelnut biscotti, and I already got somebody who sent me an email saying they love that recipe. They would love to make it. Thank you for posting it.
Oh, that's great. Tell us about that. What are some of the ingredients in that? That's different.
It's really, really simple. I don't know if you've ever made biscotti, but I don't make it that often. Biscotti means twice baked. You make a simple dough, and then you bake it once, and you cut the cookies, and then you bake them again, twice baked. That makes them nice and crunchy. This one's very simple. It has just very straightforward ingredients. Basically flour, some baking powder, sugar, eggs, and then just some chopped hazelnuts in the rind of a large orange. But what makes it nice is biscotti is so great. You can add anything to it. You could have instead add lemon. You could make a lemon biscotti. You can omit the nuts. You can add different kinds of nuts. You could add almonds. You could do whatever you want with it. You can leave them out. You could add coconut. Biscotti, so that's another fun thing to do. You can raid your pantry and use all those little things in the pantry and say, okay, we're going to make dried cranberry biscotti today.
Yeah, and you could, great for dipping in coffee.
Oh, yeah. And a day like today, that's why I think I might make some for my husband who's out there now. See, he plows all day. So he plows now because then another 6 inches could come along and then he'll plow again. So this is that kind of day.
Well, it's good that he's listening because that's what we're hearing is people should try to stay ahead of this as the snow falls so quickly. So he's doing a good job.
Yep, so far so good. I'm not complaining. He does that. I can make him some biscotti. We're all good. We're a happy family here.
Patty, I'm more of a simple guy. On a day like today, I'm a grilled cheese, maybe some homemade mac and cheese and soup. What is your go-to dish if you had to cook one thing on a snow day?
Okay, well, you nailed it right on the head, and that is grilled cheese. People call me the grilled cheese lady. So I guess that would be it. And I'll just share very quickly. Everybody get out a pen. Everybody at home, everybody who's watching this, get out a pen. Here's the ingredients. For one amazing grilled cheese, 2 slices of sourdough bread. Then you, instead of regular butter, you take some butter and you mix some fresh chopped rosemary in it to make rosemary infused butter. And you spread that rosemary infused butter on both sides of the bread. You add some grated Gruyere cheese. On one side, you add some grated Fontina cheese on the other side, and you cook those slices as it starts to warm up. You add some bacon, which is nice and crisped up to that. And then I add some tomato jam that I make from scratch with tomatoes. I'm not sure what I would substitute for that instead of saying maybe nothing, just do it with the bacon. And then as the cheese melts, you can fold the sandwich together and make sure it's nice and crispy. But the rosemary-infused butter is going to give that grilled cheese an amazing taste. So that with maybe a cup of, I know what I would do, a nice cup of just Campbell's tomato soup.
Oh, yeah.
And there you go. And then that's what you got.
We'll be over at 2:30. That sounds perfect, right?
Make sure to make plenty. Now, Patty, just want to mention a couple of the other recipes you're sharing is for a soda bread, which is obviously perfect for this week, an Irish soda bread, and a no-knead bread. Can you tell us about those?
Yes, the Irish soda bread, I got to tell you, I get on a kick where I will spend forever trying all kinds of recipes to find what I consider the best. You can ask my family. I went through a phase when I wanted to find the best orange cake. I think I made 20 orange cakes. So to make Irish soda bread, there were so many dry recipes for it. I really didn't like that. Even though that is traditional, that's how it should be, dry like a rock, because they would keep the soda bread in their pockets in Ireland to eat as a little snack. I get it. But I like it really moist. So I found this great recipe, and then I had to add the kitchen sink to it. I added dried cranberries. I added golden raisins. and I added some currants to it. So my recipe has I call it the works. It has everything in it, and it's very moist, and people love it. So that also, that lengthy recipe is online at thewestonforum.com, and it's called Stir Crazy Irish Soda Bread because I developed it when I was doing the Stir Crazy show. And then no knead brioche. Oh, a lot of people are intimidated when it comes to making bread, and I can't say that I blame them. You never know what it's going to be like, and there's kneading and all that. Simple, very few simple ingredients. You just mix the ingredients together, and you let it rise overnight in your refrigerator. The next morning, you just bake it. It's called no knead brioche. It's very, very simple, and you end up with a delicious brioche bread. And people think you slaved over it, but you did not. Really, it was very simple.
All right, Patty, I love that. Now, again, all of those recipes sound amazing, and you have a lot more information posted at thewestonforum.com. So thanks so much for joining us today and sharing.
Okay, stay warm, everyone.
We will. Thanks so much, Patty. It definitely sounds like you want to be at Patty's house right now.
I would kill for a grilled cheese.
I would kill for a grilled cheese too, and some of those chocolate chip cookies. But just a quick recap of the storm as we're following it now. Frank, we talked to Jacob Mizell earlier. Things have changed in this storm.
That's right. We've downgraded from a blizzard to just a winter storm warning here in southern Fairfield County. We're looking at snow and a mix of sleet and rain heading forward this afternoon, with that pocket of warm air moving up the coast. We're probably going to see another 4 to 6 inches realistically before this day is done. Considerably cloudy overnight, and there is a chance for a couple more snow showers or flurries. It will be very windy again, and there will be most likely a freezing warning in effect heading into Wednesday morning. We might see 1 or 2 more snow showers early on tomorrow, but by noon on Wednesday, we should be past this and heading towards a couple days of sunnier weather before another chance, as Jacob mentioned, of a light snow shower on Saturday, Kate.
All right, thanks, Frank. Now, we just want to mention again that travel ban for the state is still in effect. Governor Malloy will be giving another update on the storm at 1 p.m., so we'll see if anything changes then. Metro North is suspending service at noon, so that's coming up very soon. So far, not a lot of accidents on the road, thankfully. State police report that between 5 a.m. and 10 a.m., they responded to just 14 car accidents, no injuries in that case, and only 34 motorist assists, but there are crews there getting ready to help other people who might get stranded on the road. And utility companies are at the ready too. So far, we're not seeing a lot of power outages. So like Patty said, if you could cook up something good, get some recipes at thewestonforum.com. We are going to keep you updated on this storm. Be sure to check back in with us this afternoon at 1:30. We'll have a lot more information for you with the help of all our HAN Network reporters and editors. That coming up later today, so stay safe and warm.